Okay, in this podcast, I want to talk to you about what podcasting is, a question that some of you have been asking. So I'm going to show you here in iTunes. Now, I'm guessing most of you have been to iTunes before, to the iTunes store. But if you haven't, when you open up iTunes, all you have to do is come here and look under Store and click on the iTunes Store, and that will bring you to this page. And here, as you know, you can download, you can purchase music, individual tracks or albums. You can download movies. You can purchase television shows, and so on and so forth. However, there are also things that are available for free through the iTunes Music Store. And you can find some of these things here under the Podcasts tab. Right, so if you come into podcasts, by the way, you can also come here and look under iTunes U, where you can find various podcasts organized by school. And you can see some of the things that are the most popular things that have been put into iTunes University sites, much like the one that we have. But in any case, I want to look today at the things that are available under podcasts. So when you come here, you'll see, you can look at the new releases. They have audio releases, they have video releases, right? Because we've got both audio and video podcasts. You can see here at the top podcasts, and a lot of them are from, say, like NPR or ESPN or Comedy Central, HBO, so on and so forth. And so, you've got, your normal kinds of media producers that are participating in podcasting, but you also have tens of thousands of, everyday individuals who are creating their own podcasts. And you can find these by searching under various categories, right? You can also here look at the various featured providers, and you can see here a list of some, major media folks that you probably heard of before. And also, if you come down here to the bottom, there's some advice here on how to podcast and submit a podcast to iTunes U and stuff like that. So you could check that out. But I'm just going to show you right now is how you would subscribe to a particular podcast. So I'm going to come in here and click on music, and I'm going to click on here indie pop music. And that brings me here to this page for indie pop music, and it gives me a little description of what this music is like or what the podcast is like. And I can come down here and I can see the names of tracks, the release date, a little description, and then I can, if I want to, I can, get one particular episode. And you can see my iTunes is downloading that one particular song. Right. And if I go back to iTunes Store, here I am still on the indie pop music page. So let's say I listen to that one and I like it and I want to subscribe. Well, I can come up here and click on the subscribe button, right? And then if I come over here into podcasts, you can see, here's the indie pop music and the two that I downloaded. If I wanted to, I could get them all. But now that I've subscribed, what that means is that every time that the people who make this podcast create a new one is added into the list, and then every time I open iTunes University, every time I open iTunes, it will go and check and see if there is a new podcast available to me in this feed, and if there is, it will automatically download it. And then if I want to, I can set up my iPod so that it syncs this particular podcast, and so every time I plug in my iPod and iTunes opens, it'll go and check and see if there's a new one, and if there is a new one, it'll download it to my iPod so I can listen to it that way. And so, yeah, that's basically the way it works. So what you ought to do is not necessarily go and subscribe to that one, but go and look at the podcasts, go and look at iTunes U if you want. Find something that, looks good to you, or more than one thing, and go ahead and subscribe to it and see what you think. Because I suppose really the best answer to what a podcast is to go and listen to them and see what they're like. Most of them are, basically like radio shows or something like that of some sort, or if they're videos, then they're more like, informational, talking head kind of shows, things like that, how-tos. There's lots of different stuff. There's so many different things that the content is really as varied as you could possibly imagine. Also, if you come to this page, you can go and look over here where it says Learn More, and you can find out a little bit more about podcasting and submitting a podcast. and all that kind of stuff. That'll help you figure these things out. So yeah, go check it out and have fun with it. Take care.